We'll be starting our workshop session. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have with us three prominent speakers for today's workshop. First, Dr. Dharma Prasad, CEO and Chief Scientist, Prosecha Bioconformatics Private Limited, and a social media influencer. Sir is going to take a session for 45 minutes. Next, we would be having a session by Mr. Jayant Prakash, Regional Lead, South India and Sri Lanka, Academics and Government Vertical, LinkedIn. Sir is going to take a session for 45 minutes. Next, we will be having our Dean, Dr. M. N. Nagendra Prasad, Dean, SAAE, JSS STU, to take a session for 30 minutes. Let us dive into the workshop session. First, we have with us the esteemed resource person, Dr. Dharma Prasad, visionary leader making waves in the world of biotechnology and education. As the CEO and Chief Scientist of Prosecta Bioinformatics Private Limited, pioneering US-based biotechnology and pharma company. He is on a mission to discover groundbreaking drugs for infectious diseases, brain disorders, and cancer. Dr. Prasad is also the director of Fun Plus Solutions, company focused on creating education solutions. It is our proud privilege to have him with us today. So I kindly request sir to take up the session.
Thank you. You know how many hours you are awake in a day? Take a guess. How many hours? 24 minus how many hours we sleep? 8 hours, 9 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours. Out of the 16 hours we are awake, 7.5 hours, 50% of the time we are online. Do you agree? This is the statistics I pulled out. And out of 75, 7.5 hours online, 2.5 hours we spend on an average in a day on social media. 2.5 hours. You can track it in most of your phone. Some of us more, some of us less. You know who spends more time on social media? Which age group, which gender? Any guess? Of course, younger people, no? We are all too old, isn't it? The age group between 16 to 24 years, girls spend more time on social media than any other age group, any other gender. And they are the most depressed and most anxious people on this earth. Why? Because they live in an Insta world. Everything filtered, everything glorified. Young girls, they have done a study in US on psychology. After Instagram is launched, young girls of this age, the anxiety and depression has gone up by 400 times, 400%, I think, after Insta is launched. Why? Because you are comparing your life with somebody's curated life on digital media. Somebody is more beautiful, somebody is traveling more, somebody is doing this, somebody is doing that. I am not doing it, so I'm depressed. This is the reality we live in. We can't change this. Only thing is we need to know how to learn and live with it. That is the challenge. In India, social media penetration, which is the number one? Do I have to even say? Insta. Insta has a penetration of 75%. Facebook has a penetration of 71%. Mostly old guys like me use it. Young boys and girls are mostly on Insta, right? LinkedIn, that we are going to speak more today, has a penetration of 35%. It's growing. My, my friend here said it's growing a lot more faster, especially with the young student generation. 90% of the people follow at least one brand. 76% of the social media users purchase something they saw on social media. 76% buy something they saw on social media. 50% of the millennials, many of you sitting in the back are millennials. 50% of the millennials trust influencers' product recommendations. When some influencer recommends Akipiki hair oil, we all go and buy Akipiki hair oil. We don't know what it does, right? Isn't it? That's a big trend no, nowadays. We keep seeing it in a lot of social media. So with this data, what are the companies doing? 50% of the 54% of the marketing spends of an average company is on digital. Many of the companies have started moving away from traditional media into digital media. Digital media spends, ad spends have gone up 54%. 30% of the digital spends is on social media. Among this 54% spend, 30% they are spending money on social media to advertise their company and products. You know who is the biggest spender on social media? Which industry? Take a guess. Beauty products, not even close. Education sector. Can you believe it? Education sector spends 75.5% of their ad revenue on social media. So where should JSSSTU be? Isn't it? Statistics. The second most spender is technology and third most is healthcare. Beauty is not even close. Maybe more. Of course, this is US data. It could be different in different countries. There was a survey done with chief marketing officer. Deloitte did it last year, I think, 24 or 23. And they asked, what is your marketing budget on social media? On an average, many companies said 17% of their marketing budget is spent on social media. In 5 years, they asked, where do you see? How much more will you be spending or less will you be spending in 5 years? You know what they said? They said they are going to increase to 27% in the next 5 years. 20%, 27% of the total marketing expenditure of many of these companies is going to be on social media. So it's growing, expanding. And what does these marketers think? What kind of influence have these marketers brought? Being on social media, 95% of them think social media advertisement and branding brings brand awareness. Your brand awareness is the biggest visibility that they are able to create by spending so much money on social media. This is just the statistics to throw at you. Wherever I see when I was doing research for this talk, I saw social media, more spend, more visibility, brand, education sector spending more money. I said to Nagendra Prasad, I think we need to start looking at how do we make the institution utilize this wave that is rising and rise along with it. Whether it is this institution or any other institution, if you are not on social media, if you are not digitally present, you will be lost. This is your physical presence. Physical presence. How many speeches can I give? How many places can I go? How many places can I be present? Very limited, right? This is my digital presence. This is Dharma Prasad physically standing in front of you. This is Dharma Prasad digitally. I am present on different platforms and medias. This is rising. This is rising so much that sometimes I'll forget am I even alive physically or not. Your digital presence, your digital perception, your digital everything is becoming very important. Because when you apply for a job, most of the recruiters will search your name on Google and find out who the hell are you without before giving a job. That's why I asked you a question. How many of you really took time to search for me and at least Mr. Prakash? Who are these guys? Why are they coming and talking to me? What are they going to talk about? That is how you make yourself smart. If you know where you are going, what you are going, who is this fellow, you are way ahead of others who are not doing this job. So you have to be present and you have to be present in the right way. I think that becomes very important. This is my first. Second point I would like to make is post COVID, the way we learn has changed. Do you agree? We are more online, right? More digital, more seeking for learning online, whether it is YouTube, whether it is various other social medias. We are learning online, and teachers were forced to go online and teach without getting the real feedback. They have to teach to a screen. I don't know how many of you muted and went to sleep. I know many of you did. Even I have done. Nothing new, nothing great, right? So the way we learn has changed. We have moved to digital. Post NEP, new education policy, education is becoming democratic. It is democratized. Now you can choose any college you want to go. You can even choose a Coursera course. You can have a credit bank system nationally in central place. You can change courses. You can get various degrees. 1 year, second year you will get a different degree. Third year a degree. Fourth year a honors degree, like that. They've given you so much freedom. So the education sector has got disrupted because of these two mainly. It is no longer a provider or an institution led industry. It is a student or a seeker led industry. Industry has changed. Institution cannot push ideas, cannot push their courses on the students. Students will choose what they want. They are more aware, they are more capable, and they are more economically strong. It has changed. Can you please keep it silent? So institution branding in this era becomes extremely important. Do you agree? This is the way we are changing. The wave is changing. So we got to change along with the wave and achieve it, because your reputation, your branding is becoming very, 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 very important. Because without that, we won't be standing here, we won't be sitting here. Harvard is an Harvard because of the reputation and the brand. IIT and IIM, they don't teach you anything different because they have a brand built around it. And how did they build the brand? For a period of time, they did a lot of things, one of which is their alumni. Alumni strength is the biggest brand. CEO of one company is an IIT alumni, CEO of another company is an IIT alumni. That old charm of these organizations picked up together. They become friends, they order from each other, both their companies grow. A Mysorean, if you meet when you are outside Mysore, you feel happy. If you hear Kannada when you are in US, you feel happy. Why? We are all connected to our roots. And that is what this branding and institution gives you. But you cannot buy reputation. You cannot buy. You have to work hard to create a reputation, whether it is individual reputation or whether it is institution reputation. We have to work hard to create it. All of us are part of this. All of us have to do it in our own bit. What do an institution, how does an institution create reputation? Right? Already SJC has a big reputation. It has created some reputation. All it has to do is now spread its wings and go beyond it and reach to an international audience. It cannot stay just in Mysore. It cannot stay just in Karnataka. It has to go much beyond and become a bigger brand in this world. Make its stamp, make its place. Mostly three parts. Quality of faculty and students define the reputation of an institution, right? Whether it is academic performance or non-academic performance, the quality of these two stakeholders is extremely important. So you students sitting here, the quality that you come out and you perform in this world defines what will be the perception of your college. Second, physical, digital, social infrastructure. You cannot just have a physical infrastructure of a beautiful building and forget the other two part, which is the social and digital infrastructure. I know many of my friends joined JCE just because of JCANA. They didn't want anything else. They just wanted to be part of JCR. That's it. That is the social infrastructure. Today is a yoga day. Yoga is a social strength of our country. We are spreading wide and out because we are spreading yoga. That also is a soft power. You won't believe the soft power of a Hollywood, soft power of a dollar, right? Similarly, soft power of our yoga, soft power of our spirituality is also extremely important. So college cannot just concentrate on the physical infrastructure. It has to invest on digital infrastructure and the social infrastructure. And most importantly, research activities, of course. We have to do research. We have to be in the forefront of our innovation. Only then an organization will be recognized. If Harvard or Stanford is recognized, it's also recognized because of the forefront of the innovation and research they do. And when we create all these things, it's not enough to create something. It is not enough to be Dharma Prasad. I have to drum up, beat the drum and tell the world I am Dharma Prasad. This is what I do. Similarly, an institution of repute has to beat their drum up and show their capacity to the world. Otherwise, nobody will know. So, you individuals, all of you, have to beat up your own drums. You can't stand in a street and beat a drum and say, oh, this is me, this is me. No, that's not going to work. That used to work in Raja's time. Now, no more. So the only way you can do is be on social media and present yourself professionally to the world what you want. You can't become a CEO of many of the companies now if you are not digitally present, if you are not connected to your customers. If a customer doesn't know who the hell CEO of Indigo Airlines is, you may not fly Indigo. Now there are not many options, but when you have a lot of options, you need to know who the leader is, what is his passion, how is he driving the company, where is he taking, because Gen Z demands answers. You guys demand answers, and only when it overlaps with your passion, you go with that brand, otherwise you don't. Gen Z represents most of the college students today, correct? Most of you are Gen Zs, and you are passionate about value-based organizations. You are passionate about the overlapping of what is your value, does my institution follow my value or not. Only then you follow the institution because you are smart, you are capable, you are economically strong. So you make decisions. So, for example, if an engineering college believes in sustainable practices, it should do activities and events around sustainable practices, and it should showcase on social media saying that I have done this. So everybody who loves sustainable practices will come to your college. That is how you attract students of the future because you are all digital natives. When you are born, digital system existed. You know how to use it. Unlike many of the seniors like me, we were not born. We learn, but we learn good way. Only when you are convinced of the values and behaviors of the institution or brand or anything else, you will follow it. You will join it. You will pay for it. Otherwise, you won't. So in this era, we need to be present online. We need to be present on social media. We need to be talking about what is my value and what am I doing about it. Only then you can become a big brand, big perception. Otherwise, nobody knows who you are, what you are. So before coming here, I went to JSS STU website. I went to social media page. I looked at Nagendra Prasad and Prof. VC and I think Pradeep profiles. So without doing a homework, I never go anywhere. So I did my homework. JSS STU mission statement. What is the mission statement? Empower learners through innovative and inclusive educational practices. Foster a dynamic environment that cultivates curiosity, critical thinking, and a passion for lifelong learning. This is the mission statement of JSS STU. So everything that the university does online has to match to the mission statement. So every post that goes out has to match to the mission statement. Only then you create an impression of validity. If both are opposite, you do something and something else, you would call it a mission statement. People will not trust you. Trust comes only when there is consistency towards what you have. So, few aspects I have put out what we can do. I can stand here and give a 5 hours lecture of social media, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you some practical tips of what we can do collectively together. Before that, let me tell you a small journey of mine. I was going to a lot of colleges. At least one speech I make in a week time. I am part of Confederation of Indian Industries Industry Institute Interaction Panel. So I connect a lot of institutions with industries. I take CEOs and CFOs to the institutions to talk to, engage them. Nation is created by entrepreneurs. Nation is created by business owners because they give us jobs. So it's very important that we value them. In our society, we have not valued them very well compared to a developed country where an entrepreneur is given a lot of value. So we do a lot of connection. I go and speak a lot of places. Like I said, physically, I can only be so many places. About 1.5, 2 years ago, I started thinking, okay, why don't I spread my wings and start doing, digital posting of what I do? It was an experiment. I said, okay, let me start posting. About 1.5 years ago, I started posting. Whenever I go and talk to people, even today, today's post will come on Monday, 8 a.m. It will be out. The idea is I go on LinkedIn, I write up about what I spoke, put some tags, hashtags, keep some photographs, post it on LinkedIn. And then, of course, I follow only one or two other social medias, not active on Insta, but I want to be. Then slowly started seeing me silently. People started feeling jealous. That happens in this world. But that's not important. What is important is I was able to create a visibility of mine which didn't exist before. A ranked student of mine, my friend, who is in US, who never called me before. Last year when he came to India, he called me. He said, Dharma, do you have time? Can I meet with you? Imagine the change of image that you have done. I have been a poor student in my school, right? Average to below average kind of a student. But I'm a late riser. So I rise late. So those early risers who are ranked students from LKG, right? From LKG onwards, they are first rank students. They don't care about you because you are a poor student. But when they realize your social profiles, when they realize what you are doing, they'll come back and talk to you. That is one example. Second example, CFO of Vijayanand Road Lines. All of you have heard of VRL? The job was posted on LinkedIn only. They own media company. They have their own newspaper. They did not advertise anywhere. They advertise only on LinkedIn. And the owner, I know the MD of that company, he sent me a request and he said, Dharma, can you post it on your page so that we get a better visibility? I did. And within 2 days, they hired a CFO. Chief Financial Officer of a well-known company is hired only on LinkedIn. The visibility that you get, you will not get anywhere else. Now, because of the constant posting and constant social activity that I've been doing, when I walk into a room, I don't have to introduce who I am. People know who I am. Among my friends, of course, not among your circle, but among my friends, people who know who you are because you are constantly posting. People are constantly see you. It has to be good. It cannot be just I went and had a party, I danced next to KRS, I jumped into a river. That's not going to get you any value in society. The value in the society you get only when you do good things and when you post it online visibly. There was a vice president of a large company who happens to be Mysorean, who is in US. He reached out to me on LinkedIn and he said, I want to contribute something back to Mysore, my town, when I come to Mysore. I appreciate what you are doing. Can I join with you when I am on holidays in Mysore? and give something back to my city. That made me proud more than anything else on social media, because now I am able to connect with unknown people from Mysore who wants to come back and give back to the society. I didn't know this guy. All these I was able to do only because of my social media presence and keep pushing the ideas, keep pushing and saying we planted 15,000 trees in Mysore on Environmental Day, right? I was here for your open day. I posted that. You know what got most of which impressed me the most on LinkedIn is JC in monsoon. There was a video. I don't know if any of you have seen it, right? You must have seen it. JC in monsoon video was made, and I think Pradeep posted it. In his page, that has maximum liking than anything else. It has crossed 2,500 likes or something like that. Why? Why? Something like that attracts more attention than something like I came here and gave a speech. Because we are all emotionally connected to my campus, connected to my friends, isn't it? Even if we are 50, 60-year old, we would talk about a girl in my class when the boys meet. Why? Because we are connected. We are connected to the campus. We are connected to the teachers. We are emotionally connected. When you post something emotionally connecting on social media, you will garner attention. That is how it works, right? So let us come to a few things that we can do, all of us collectively. That's why we are here. This is a workshop and not a lecture series. So, what I think we can do to improve the social media brand of JSSST, we'll concentrate on these things. In my view, understand the target audience, because this is for mostly the management and the faculty. Who are the students who are joining your college? In my view, Karnataka students, first priority. Mysore students, second priority. Students from other states, probably third priority. And international students, fourth priority. Understand them. Survey incoming students. Create a student persona. We do this in companies. And their decision tree. Why did they make a decision of joining SSC or JSSSTU? And create a perception map. What is their perception of the college initially when you join? What is the perception of the college? And then you do the same similar survey, fifth sem, eighth sem, and understand this was the perception. Did we meet the perception or not? Understand. You don't have to post it on social media. Understand how the perception is matched. Match the expectations to whatever is delivered and see whether it was delivered. And then tweak your mission, tweak your posts, and tweak your activities based on that. Because if you don't do this, and if you don't stay ahead in ranking and perception and branding, you will lose out in the race. Education system was not disrupted before. Now it is disrupted. So you have to put a lot of efforts on your branding activities, otherwise you lose out. Second, prepare the basics. Most of the companies do. I think now JSS institutions have also done this. It has to follow a common logo, common color scheme. If you look at Microsoft, or if you look at LinkedIn, if you look at Google, they have a color scheme, they have a logo. They don't change it, they don't play with it. There's a very standard formats that we follow. The moment you look at something, you know it is Volvo or it is Apple or something like that. Create that. There's a content structure that you need to create for the postings, right? It has to have a heading. It has to have achievement of what you did. See, I'll give you a biggest problem I face whenever I hear to students and a lot of seniors also. We spend too much time on details, too much time on problem statements. We don't tell what actually you have achieved. In social media, you don't have time to talk about the details. All you have to talk about is what is the impact that you created. That is how you hook them in. In Insta, there's a standard practice now: hook reel and then give an action. You hook the people, pull them into your video, and then end with an action item. What is that? You want to sell something, you want to create a brand, you want to do something. So you have to create a standard structure of heading, achievement, probably details, and then call for action. What is that you want people to do? Go to their website or follow this person or contribute for the environment or whatever it is. And then create a list of whom to tag. Tagging is extremely important. I'll give you a simple example. I met a financial influencer on flight to Delhi. It's there on my LinkedIn post. You can go back and see it. His name is Shankarnath. I just casually met him. I was sitting next to me, and I've seen one or two of his video. So I spoke to him. He was an extremely down to earth and an amazing guy. We had a fantastic 2 hours conversation about what he is trying to do, how he quit his job, how he became a social financial influencer. He makes a video, he puts it out, you check it out. He's extremely authentic and amazing research he does and puts it out. I just put a post saying that I met this guy on aeroplane, I had a fantastic conversation or whatever, linked him, put it on social media. It went more viral than anything else I've done. That is why influencers become important. That is why visible people become important. So you need to know whom to tag, what kind of hashtags to decide. Because many of the marketing media nowadays are starting with hashtag. Hashtag do this thing, hashtag. Many of the companies are driving it. Why can't we do it? As an institution, also, you should come up with some unique hashtags which is unique to JSS AHER or JSS STU or JSS whatever, and start posting it in all of your media because that gets visibility and it gets pushed. Algorithm will understand this is being seen, so it pushes. The more it pushes, the more you get visibility. So you need to understand how to play the game and then create an image bank, a standard image. If you are going to represent JSS STU, this is the image you're going to use. This is the video you're going to use. There has to be standard because most of the companies do this. Institutions don't do it, but it has to be done something on these lines. So develop a brand manual. If you ask me, I think if Nagendra Prasad can work for some more time, create a brand manual and say this is what these are the hashtags, these are the website links, these are the various things that we could do collectively and spread it around. That makes a fantastic starting point for the institution. Third, your structure of a post is extremely important. This is what I have learned over a period of time in the last couple of years, and I'm just throwing you out, giving a packaged information. Level one, students who are sitting here and the faculties of the department, individual departments should create a post of any activity that you are going to do, right? Next, there is a department page or a department social media team that handles it. That is the next level. There is an individual post, there's a department level post. For example, Aero, you have a group called Aero something. What is it? Aero JC, right? Aero JC. Something Aero JC does, Aero JC should have a page where they post it. And that becomes a department, mechanical department, right? Similarly, all of you should have an individual next department level activity, and then there is a third level which is university level activity. University does JCANA, university does inter-university competition, university does something, university gets ranking, it has to be posted. So there has to be a structure that needs to be created, and you connect with each other and you hashtag or link each other. Your visibility starts growing, right? Fourth, frequency of posts. You should post one post a week if it is possible from each department. If not, at least 2 to 3 posts in a month. It has to have consistency. Virat Kohli is Virat Kohli only because of consistency more than talent and more than anything else. It is all consistency. You need to run a long race. It is not a sprint. It is not a short term race. It is always a marathon. So the organization has to understand and decide this is not going to end in a month's time. This is going to end in 10, 20, 30 years' time. So I need to create a long term vision and see how I can be consistent. If you look at any influencers on social media, what do? Most important is the consistency of their posts. They don't post in a day 10 posts. No, they don't do that. Then you will, unlike them, get out of them. You have to post on a regular basis. What is that regularity? You guys have to figure it out, right? But I would suggest at least a 2 to 3 posts in a month from a department. I think is easily doable because you are doing so many activities. All you have to do is capture it, put it on some page or media or something like that, and cross tag it. One post every day at a university level. If departments are posting so many, I think posting one post each day on a university page is not that difficult. It can be easily done. It can be just pulled out and reposted because university followers are going to be in thousands. Now there are 8,000 plus, but it is going to grow to lakh plus, couple of lakh plus. Each of them have their own interest. Somebody loves mechanical, somebody loves campus, somebody loves something else. So you don't know who likes what. When you have a large following and you have a diverse activities, you need to start pulling them together and putting it in one organized place. So our university has to think about how do we do that. Whenever you do this, use emotion. If you're talking about monsoon campus, you will get more likings than a hackathon that you may do because there is emotion in it. Hackathon doesn't have emotion. Use emotional posts. Emotions. Work on emotions. Stories, not facts and figures. The way I started the talk, you will not remember anything I told in 5 minutes time, but you will remember my experience and stories. You will remember the influencer I met, but you will not remember what percentage of people are doing what. That is how our brain works. Brain remembers stories. Before language came, before writing came, before printing came, we were telling stories. Humans are extremely good in creating stories and transmitting stories. If you want to remember that snake is going to bite you, before we had written and anything else, we would build a story around it and communicate to my child. He will communicate to his child. That is how in a tribe we would sit around and communicate stories, tell stories. We are extremely good in listening stories. Create stories, create emotional connect, create experiences, and then you post them. I'm sure a lot of people will like it and come back and talk to you. Fifth, what to post. There are three types of posts, internal posts. Department activities, everything extracurricular, you got to start posting. You do talks by invited, you invite people and listen to talks. You do events. There are a lot of events that you guys do. You do workshops, symposiums in the department, right? You talk about it. You do competitions internally, externally, interdepartment on various stages. You post them. You talk about additional courses that you may have, which is not visible to the world. You have to also talk about statistics because that brings inclusivity. How many girls are there? How many challenged people are there? Or whatever that is. You have to talk about these at department level activities, I would say. These are the bunch of basket of things that you could do. Then the second is faculty activities. Whenever a faculty publishes a paper, patent, you have to post it. The faculty posts it, department pulls it, university pulls it. Everything is interconnected and interlinked. Travel to a talk or a sabbatical that you go to some university or you go for a study tour, please post it and link JSSST. Link your department there. That is how you spread the word. It's not only growing your visibility digitally online, you are also growing your department, you are also growing your institution. So it's a three-layered approach that you have to do because when you walk into a room full of your peers, people should know who Dharma Prasad is or who anyone sitting here is. That should be your goal. Your goal is not to become an influencer and post and sell something. No. Your goal should become your identity that you create online. Right? That is why I'm telling you all these things. Do it. Conference presentations. Many of you go for conferences and talk. Many of you are invited to various places and you go and talk and you discuss. You please post that. Then the university ranking. That is the third layer where university will talk about rankings whenever they get the rankings. They talk about university level events that they conduct. which they are already doing. Whenever they sign an MOU, they post it, which is also already doing. You guys do a lot of surveys, right? University, either student survey or outside or whatever. Anything that you can post, which is not protected, you should post. Student outcomes, placements, and various other things you should post, and campus infrastructure. You should post once in a while. Once in a year, you should take a video of your department and just post it out. Because after a month or two, your social media posts have gone old. Nobody sees them. Everybody loves a fresh, hot food. Nobody likes stale food. Same thing in social media. Nobody likes old posts. Things would change. So there has to be a structure that you have to put on what to post. Whenever you do posting, what we miss, which I saw in this STU page, is connecting. Social media works only when you connect. It won't work if you have no tags, no hashtags, no interconnected people. If the activity is done today, everybody who is sitting here has to be connected on that page, on that post. Only then it gets better visibility. You just write something and put only one or two names, or don't put any names, it will not go beyond. Because if JSS STU creates a post, puts tags Dharma Prasad in there, Dharma Prasad's connections will see that. Because I posted this social media influencer I met, I had 15 people as followers whom I didn't know. They were all that guy's followers who came and saw my page. They were interested and they followed. Only because I tagged him. If I didn't tag him, nobody would have seen my post. He has some 1 lakh followers, 12,000 in LinkedIn, couple of lakhs YouTube. The idea is only when you connect, you get more visibility. So you have to tag only the right people. Otherwise, they will exit. If I have nothing to do with any post that you have put, I would exit that post. I'll say, LinkedIn, please disconnect me from this post. We do that because I don't want to tarnish my reputation when I'm not involved in anything, right? So you have to connect to those people who are influencer, who have come something, because that creates validity. Who are those influencers? Your alumni could be a fantastic influencers because they have a stake in the organization. You tomorrow, when you leave the institution and go out somewhere, you will have a stake in SJC, STU. You will all have a stake. I don't have a stake, but I have stake because my friends love this college. I didn't study here, but I have a connection because many of my friends are studying here. Industry experts, you connect. Senior academicians, national, international professors, you connect. Universities, you connect. Administrators, regulators, regulatory bodies, governments, you connect. Anybody you invite, anybody you interact with, you connect. And sometimes you bring in celebrities for some of your activities. Please connect. There's nothing wrong in tagging them. They don't accept that secondary. Connect them, get more visibility. And tag people, especially influencers in your post. Especially people who have a large following, you please tag them. Because, but please check their authenticity and visibility. You don't want to tag wrong people because ultimately it is about reputation of your institution. So you don't want to put wrong people in there and somebody does something wrong and it comes back and boomerangs you. So tag right people, look at their background, look at their visibility, look at where they stand and please tag them. I'll end here. There's not enough time. I want the other two to take up and speak more. The idea is very simple, friends. You have to create a structure, whether it is individually you are trying to do something or collectively to an organization that you want to do. You have to create a structure, a style, a standard that you want to be known for. You can't do random things and expect people to like. They won't. If Nike sells water bottles, people may not buy. That is why many organizations and many brands fail, because people pursue a certain brand and a certain something in a certain viewpoint. If that changes, they don't like it. So you work on your background, you create a structure, you create what you're going to do, how you're going to post. I've given you a few ideas, but you can build your own and start posting. the most important is be active and be tacky. Because the more you do, the more visibility, the more perception, the more perception, the more brand. Are we ready to do it? Yes, little stronger. Are we ready to do it? Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see more and more activity of this sent to you going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for an informative session. We will make sure that we spend our precious time and portray our presence online wisely. Our next speaker is Mr. Jayant Prakash. Mr. Jayant Prakash, regional lead, LinkedIn, has pursued his BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from SRM University. He has over 14 plus years of experience in recruiting, tech, and telecom industries. Spent a lot of time interacting with leaders and recruiters from corporate world. He is passionate about bringing his expertise to help students to get the best possible opportunity. It is an honor to have him with us today. I welcome on stage Mr. Jayant Prakash to speak about the topic building attractive professional LinkedIn profile.
Uh, Sorry about that, everyone. I think there's a bit of a technical glitch. I think no event is complete without at least one technical glitch. So I actually wanted to start off by saying something a little funny. I think Sir spoke about with a lot of social media platforms, and he was fairly particularly kind to LinkedIn. He also mentioned that you cannot become a CEO or a CFO without having a LinkedIn profile, right? Funny thing is, I think in Bangalore today, if you want to rent a house owners are asking for your LinkedIn profile, by the way. Yeah, it's happened to a friend of mine. Forget about house owners. I think when I was before my marriage, before I got married to my wife had spoken to my her father about me, and then the first thing that my father-in-law did was check out my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, and I remember looking at my phone and thinking, "Oh, this is a very familiar-looking name." Viewing my profile, turned out to be my future father-in-law. So more incentive for you guys to be on LinkedIn. Yeah. I can send it to you. Or I can send an email. To you. You're saying it is. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Super. I hope you're all able to see my screen. I'm going to try my best to kind of keep it as short and sweet as possible, right? I know it's closer to lunchtime, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting here for too long. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this donut analogy on online. I think it very beautifully explains what different social media platforms are about, right? Um, if you were to take up something like a donut, right? If you were to post about it on Facebook, you'd be like, "Hey, I like donuts." Right? I mean, great donut and all of that. On Snapchat, you'll be like, "Hey, watch me eat a donut," and then disappear in a few seconds, right? Uh, on Instagram, here's a cool photo of my donut. On Pinterest, here's a donut recipe. Spotify, I'm listening to this song called Donuts, right? WhatsApp, may anybody want a donut, right? Uh, on LinkedIn, that whole thing takes a different turn altogether, right? These are the kind of things that you will see on LinkedIn today. I hope to operate a donut franchise one day, right? I'm looking for a job at a donut company. Okay? I have 3 years of experience in making donuts. My top skills are donut production and sales. Here are three recommendations from my former donut colleagues. Right. So this is a very simple example to kind of differentiate the kind of things that you post on different social media and why it is a little different LinkedIn. Earlier, we spoke about how much money LinkedIn makes. My intent was to not show off. LinkedIn makes this much money, but the idea is to tell you that LinkedIn's focus is improvement. There is a very big focus, right? What you're putting on social media, and especially on LinkedIn, can have a significant impact on your professional career. This sir also mentioned in earlier. And there are roughly 50 million companies who are on LinkedIn who are looking to hire talent. By the way, just to give you an idea, there are 4 people that are hired on LinkedIn globally every minute. So I think from the time I've started this conversation, I'm assuming at least 8 to 12 people have got some kind of a job using LinkedIn. Right? That is the power of the platform today. There are, like I said, there are over 202.9 million groups that are present on the platform, which is to give you an indication of the kind of engagement that the platform has today. Right? These are some of the key words that we'll be using today. One is, of course, workforce, the people who you're working with, or people who are essentially uh, spending a lot of time with on a daily basis, colleagues, etc. Some of it, then we're going to talk about connections, right? Connections are the people who you are connected with on LinkedIn, your contacts on LinkedIn primarily. Network is anyway, it's like a connected community of people, right? It's an entire set of people who see your posts, etc., who are able to have visibility as to what is it that you're doing. Then, of course, referral. Uh, I'm sure everybody here knows what a referral is, right? You know what a referral is when you ask somebody to refer you to a job and things like that. Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. I just wanted to highlight it for in case there's anybody who's not very sure of what it is. Identifying your brand. I think we're going to talk about 3 things here. What makes a good brand? How do you identify your brand? And how to show that you're the right choice, right?
to the right people purely from a perspective of finding a nice opportunity, a new opportunity. I can see a lot of students are here, and I'm talking to you guys, right? Primarily, what is a brand? Brand is essentially like it is the promise, right? It is what is it that you can deliver, right? You see an ad for something and it says that it does XYZ, and if it is something that you need right now, you kind of essentially purchase that. So similarly, you have an obligation to kind of create a personal brand which tells your story, the kind of things that you can deliver, the kind of things that you have done in the past, right? It's very, very similar, although the scale at which these two things operate are very different, but very, very similar things, right? Building a personal brand and what a brand communicates to you. It is your brand is, I think the first line is very important. It's is your promise to those around you, right? I'm sure a lot of your friends, when they think of a certain friend, they're like, "Ha, oh, this person is always late. This person never does this. This person never does that." That becomes a personal brand of yours at some point, right? People recognize you with that kind of trait or that kind of a quality. So it's very important to kind of make sure you're doing the right things, saying the right things, posting the right things, right? That are highlighting you in accurate, but in the correct way, right? It's also the value of brand is also because there are so many people on the platform who are looking to hire people. You are also highlighting to those employers, those 50 million plus employers, as to why you are a good option for that particular organization. Follow different organization pages, identify what clicks, what is the culture like there, right? What is that organization talking about? Try and see if you can develop an interest in that. If this is something of, and my honest opinion to all of y'all is, there are a lot of people who fake it till they make it, right? Which is fine. I mean, if you're exploring something new, it's perfectly fine. But ultimately, if you have no interest and if you are just faking an interest, it will ultimately come out at some point, right? My suggestion to you is identify, follow different organizations, identify what are the key things that are important to them, see if it makes sense to you, right? Be honest to yourself, right? I think it pays off in the long run. Uh, you can, your profile can also carry things about what is it that you can do, what are your strengths, right? I speak to students sometimes and they tell me that I don't know what I can put on my profile that will be interesting enough for employers. I've not done anything. I don't have any work experience. Even something basic like getting sponsors for your college culturals. That is sales, right? That is sales experience. That's what salespeople do essentially. The idea is, are you able to convert that into a story that makes it a meaningful one for you, right? You are doing a lot of interesting things today. You are meeting a lot of people. How are you able to convert that into story? And as Sir said, I think your story. I think that's the most important thing. People are going to remember, and people are going to recollect more than anything else. Right? Also showcasing how you're unique. What is your primary USP? How are you different from a lot of people? By the way, just to give you an idea, I'm sure a lot of you might have seen this article today. This came, I think, almost a year back. This is in Harvard Business Review. Where it said that the demand for college degrees among freshers in the US has come down almost 45% in that was in 23, right? Um, so what this means and what LinkedIn's data is also telling us is that recruiters earlier would look at people when they're searching for candidates, right? They would look at people from the premium institutes, IIMs, IITs first, right? All that has changed dramatically. I'm sure you'd have seen those articles where IIT students are getting placed at salaries which are like considered very, very low by IIT standards, right? I'm sure you would have seen all those articles. Recruiters today are not looking at your badge, right? They're looking at what skills you possess. They're first looking for skills. If you're able to demonstrate that skill, even better or as much as a person from an IIT or an IIM, then the job is yours, right? So I think it's very important to understand what are these shifts that are happening in the mindset of people who can or who will potentially hire. I think there are some basic things on your profile. I think I spoke to sir. I told him I will talk about some of the things that you need to do on your LinkedIn profiles to make sure that you are being noticed by the right crowd for the right reasons, right? Uh, Highlighting your school, please make sure that your education column, your skills column, all these things are filled and up to date. Uh, Networking with people, right? I think it's again something which Sir spoke about, so I'm not going to harp about it too much. But connecting with the right people is obviously very important because whatever you put out ultimately has to reach these people. Right? You met somebody at an event, you had an interesting conversation, or you heard something this person say something interesting. Right? The next time you have something interesting to say, they are an audience, right? And their audience also becomes an audience ultimately if they like it and repost it. So uh, it's a great platform to kind of amplify your message. Wow. And then, of course, your areas of expertise and wisdom, etc. You can obviously write about. This is again, I think, a very important thing. Your values. This is again a very very important thing that companies are looking for. Right? When you're talking about cultural fit, right? Are you somebody? So just to give you an idea, uh, at LinkedIn today, diversity, inclusion, belonging is like a major talking point. Right? Uh, have many of you read about tips and things like that in the past? Have you guys read about this? Is it when I'm looking at the younger population, the older population might still be aware of it, but diversity, inclusion, and belonging is like a major talking point among. It's a number. It's a big priority for a lot of organizations today. Have you read up about it? Are you even aware of what these terms mean and what it means in a corporate context? Right? What's one of just a loose word. It's from here. Oh, I hope you're able to see the screen again. Sorry about that. I'll try my best to not skip on this wire for the rest of this rest of my session. But building a strong, I think today, what is the first thing like when you meet somebody, right? Or if you want to know something about somebody, the first thing you do is Google them, right? First thing that you generally do is Google them. When you type in their name, what are the one of the first things that pop up is their LinkedIn profile, right? And do you know why LinkedIn? If you look at the integrity metrics among social media, LinkedIn ranks number one every year, right? I mean, we're hands down from an integrity standpoint, we're the number one social media platform, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because there is a lot of vetting that goes on in the back end for us today. If you've seen your workplace, let's say you're working at Google, right? You're asked to verify using your Google mail ID. If it doesn't match to the domain ID, on Google's page, it's not a verified ID. You're asked to do an Aadhaar verification on LinkedIn, right? The idea is to kind of so we've hit a billion users on LinkedIn. I think we're the I think we're the last in the list of social media companies to kind of hit that number. But it's also because we are not in a hurry to get there. The idea is to have authentic billion profiles that will actually feed the most accurate data possible to our customers, to our insights team, which can ultimately help organizations, companies, and governments, right? So I think it's important to and people do a Google search, they look at your LinkedIn profile, and then they kind of verify certain things, right? Whether this person is actually who he's saying he is, or actually knows what he's talking about. So I think it's again another important reason for you to have a very strong LinkedIn profile there, right? Now, I think a profile versus a resume. I think this is something which is I'm sure all of you uh, are aware of what this is, right? Like, can anybody tell me what is the difference between a resume and a profile? Anybody? Or a resume and your LinkedIn profile? Anybody? Can anybody tell me any? No? Not sure? The same thing? Is it the same thing? Correct. That's you're not wrong. That's also correct. But a CV, when you're sending a CV, is usually tailored to one particular organization, right? Your profile is something which is going to be viewed by anybody and everyone who sees you, right? So you're right. You're right. You're right to a large extent. So the thing is that it almost becomes even more important than your CV that you create, right? And I think people are able to kind of uh, judge you based on the things that are there on your LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to talk about those things, some things which are very important. Uh, Setting up your account is very easy. I'm assuming a lot of people already have uh, your LinkedIn profiles on. Uh, Profile is something that should speak to all potential employers, not just one, right? Uh, it it can actually it gives you the ability to go more details into the skills certifications that you've done. On your CV, you just say that I've completed this certification, but on your profile, you have proof because you have the certificate there, right? And the recruiter or anybody who's looking at your profile is able to see what is it exactly that you've done, right? Um, it allows it allows other professionals, not just people who are looking to hire you, other collaborators to also kind of look at your profile, right? And you get to interact with them. Uh, this is again something which is super relevant. Your recommendation and endorsements, right? I think as a student or even as a working professional, right? Your recommendations are invaluable. Your recommendation can be from your professor, it can be somebody who you interacted with at an event where you were able to kind of show some kind of an impact. It can be anybody. If I was a student, I would be racking up my recommendations from all the people that I've worked with today. It's single it's single-handedly one of the biggest things that you can do for your LinkedIn profile today, right? When the right people are recommending you, let's say I've worked in an organization, right? People there, the leadership there, say that, hey, Jan, there's somebody, I've done this, I've kind of had this kind of impact working with them. There is nothing else that speaks louder than that. It's on my LinkedIn profile, right? So it's a single largest high impact thing that you can do on your LinkedIn profile. This seems like a it says take a great photo. Might seem like a very basic thing. And I remember doing a session for students some time back, and students were sending me links. It was an online call, sending me links to kind of give them a little bit of tips how they can make it better and things like that. I remember one of those profiles that I clicked on. There were three people in that photo, right? Now, which one of this is you, man? Like, it's so confusing. So your profile picture, please make sure that, uh, it's only your picture that's there on the platform. Because I know people on Insta and Facebook, you put your friends and your family, etc. But on LinkedIn, please make sure you are the only person who's there on your profile. Uh, so that's an important thing, right? Uh, Editing your profile, making sure all these pieces of information, right, like your location and industry, work and internship experience, volunteer experience, skills, organization that you're a part of, your education, make sure all these things are entered accurately. You know why? Because a recruiter is searching for you with all these keywords from the back end when they're looking to hire people. If you if you put these up accurately and you update it, right? So generally, a LinkedIn profile gets updated every 30 to 45 days. If people change their job, people uh, upskill themselves within 30 to 45 days, they usually update that information on LinkedIn. But make sure that these pieces of information are not missed out on, because it could be, so for example, if there is a great opportunity in a location that you don't mind shifting to, right, in the future, it might not even, your profile might not be visible to that recruiter because simply because you've not mentioned the right things. Yeah. Uh, Again, this is again something which is this is your headline. Have you seen what a headline is on your LinkedIn profile? Have you all seen that? Right? Like it's usually like a one liner that comes below your name when people view your profile. It's the first impression. It's what people get to see, right? They see your name and they see the thing written below it, even when they are not viewing it. So make sure it's high impact. It's giving like a little bit of a little bit of an idea as to what you stand for. Right? You don't have to put full sentences and paragraphs in there, but make it short and sweet. But make it high impact. Right? Your about yourself is again something which a lot of recruiters are using to kind of understand where you stand culturally. What are the things that are important to you, right? Of course, they look at your work experience. All these things are going to be available there. So what are your priorities? What are you as a person? What are your interests? Right? What are the values you hold? So it's important to kind of mention that also, but make sure that it's not too long where people get bored kind of reading very long paragraphs and paragraphs about research. So a very small thing. I think how you can do it is a couple of sentences about who you are, 3 5 sentences about your experience, top skills, and key passions, and 1 2 experience about your future goals and how other members can engage. It's a very simple template that you can use to kind of build your about yourself. Building a network. I'm going to show you this particular piece of information. 50% of hires result from a personal connection. I like that. Right. I got my job at LinkedIn, by the way, through a personal connection. I got referred by a friend, right? And and there are countless other examples these things happening. But uh, personal connection can be so. I hope you understand the difference between your first degree connections, second degree connections, and third degree connections. First degree people are people who are within your network. Secondary degree are people who are in the network of the people who you are connected to. And then you have the similarly you have the third degree connections, right? Now so the interesting thing is when you connect with one person, that person's network becomes your second. That opens up, right? Up to 3 degree of connections open to you. So connecting with the right people becomes all the more important. I think that's. I hope you're able to understand. Right? You're literally opening up the audience of an entire person to yourself as a result of connecting with them. So make sure you're connecting with the right. Right? Another thing is there is an option on LinkedIn which says discover existing connections. Right? Click on your My Network. Look at the people that you have. It's a very simple, straightforward thing that you all can do. Uh, Basically, just making sure that you're connected. You're keeping track of who are the people you're connected with. It's a very simple exercise that you can do. Another thing I wanted to kind of showcase to you is we are working with Nagendra sir and the team, kind of making sure that your alumni are deeply connected to your institute. Right, it's one of our major priorities. In fact, I think there was an entire alumni meet planned in the US using the data that LinkedIn given you. I think over 1,000 people since it, right, who are at senior level positions across. So, by the way, I think sir is going to show that to you also. By the way, you if and when you see sir slide, I think you will understand the power of your institute today. Like when I was looking at the data of your alumni, you have alumni everywhere in the world. Any major organization you can think of, I'm very confident you have an alumni working there, right? Uh, the power of your alumni is extremely. I mean, it's beyond sometimes your understanding, right? And that is something which I have seen. Like if you look at an IIT or an IIM, that is I think one of the significant differences that the tier one colleges have with tier two or a tier three college. The focus that they have on alumni. I met the IIT Madras alumni dean, and he was telling me like he has a budget. It's a significant budget. I don't want to tell what it is. Like every time a student is coming to collect their degree, he has a budget to offer like a gift hamper or something like that to them. When they are graduating, they're building the relationship with the person from that particular point itself. This is an IIT Madras doing it, by the way. One of the best colleges in the country, right? So connect with people who have graduated, who have actually done what you are currently doing. Obviously, the experience is a little different, but connect with them because they can open doors like nobody. And if there is, I think, any specific this thing, I think Nagendra sir also can help you out with that. So please feel free to just reach out to him in case there are any specific things that you want to do from an institute standpoint. Uh, Another thing is LinkedIn members. This is again another interesting data point. LinkedIn members are 4 times more likely to get hired when referred, right? So making sure that you are kind of uh, like so basically like a referral is like a very basic thing, right? It's something that you can do for somebody, and making sure that you are also putting it in a polite way, putting in as much as information you can, right? And asking the right people. It's very important. So, for example, if you are interviewing for a sales role, you should connect with somebody who's working in sales in that organization for a period of time, build like some kind of a rapport, wish that person on their birthday, right? A lot of things that you can do. The moment you connect with somebody and tell them, "Hey, I need a job. Can you help me?" It's not the right way to kind of approach any conversation. And people tell me like I wrote to 100 people, nobody responded. Like, what are you writing to those people? Right? Build a rapport, see what they're doing. If there's something interesting in their profiles like that, uh, build a connection, and then tell them that, hey, listen, I've seen that you do this. I feel I have the right skills to do it, and I'm very interested in learning a little more about it. Can you help? Now, the same question, if you reach out to an alumni who's working in that organization, it becomes even more powerful, right? Because I know for a fact when I have my juniors or my alumni from my college, when they reach out to me for an interview or they want to kind of get a job at LinkedIn, usually I've been able to help all of them land interviews, not land jobs, but interviews for sure, right? So that is what I need you to kind of start thinking about because alumni again is a very important piece as far as your networking is concerned. Uh, Requesting recommendations, I told you earlier, single largest activity that you can do, which is very high impact, right? Even people, not just people who want to hire you, right? People, your whole impression about somebody changes when you see a recommendation that someone else is somebody senior in the industry or somebody else is given. Your whole attitude changes for that person, right? And recommendation is something which I would highly recommend, right? Um, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to kind of talk to you about. I don't want to kind of maybe there is another session where we can deep dive into specific profiles, and I would ideally like a session where you're all sitting in front of your laptop making changes to your profiles at that point. I just wanted to give you like a very brief overview of what I think you should have on your profile. I thought of some important things that I want to speak about. Thank you so much, everyone, for kind of patiently listening to me. Post this, I'm happy to kind of answer any questions or anything you might have. Uh, I hope to connect with a lot of you all on here. Thank you, Ryan, sir, for having me. Pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Your words have truly guided us in the right way to enhance the quality and visibility of our LinkedIn profiles. Our next speaker is Dr. M.N. Nagendra Prasad. Dr. M.N. Nagendra Prasad is Dean, Student Affairs and Alumni Engagement, JSS STU, and Professor in Biotechnology, JSS STU. With his 2 decades track record encompassing teaching, research, and administrative roles, he holding a PhD in microbiology, his scholarly pursuits are currently concentrated on molecular characterization, diabetes, and nanotechnology. Dr. Prasad has contributed 100 plus research papers in international journals with high impact factor. Administrative contribution includes roles such as head of the department, student welfare officer, university coordinator for NBA, deputy controller of examination, and presently he serves the dean overseeing student affairs and alumni engagements at esteemed university and JSS alumni engagements USA. I would now welcome Sir on stage to talk on the topic leveraging JSS STU professional LinkedIn subscription.
Read all this? No need. No need. With what's the one? Yes. Just here and kids fixed. Thank you, one and all. Very good afternoon. I will not be taking too much time. I have a very small presentation, which should be less than 10 minutes, and little more time I need to take on showing how the actual professional subscription works online. I've kept that open too. Yeah, how do I make it to the screen? This no, this was a little different. So I will basically be concentrating on the professional subscription, whatever Basic Science and Technology University have procured, and I can show some live demonstration of whatever Mr. Jayant Prakash had explained. In fact, when we wanted to do this workshop, I just went and spoke to my university officers. And normally, whenever we do have to talk anything on social media, it's little difficult to convince them. Like when we just go back home, I keep telling my daughter not to use too much phone. My wife keeps telling me, you keep getting a headache every now and then. Don't use too much of social media. But the topic, whatever we are opted for today, is social media, because in spite of me telling my daughter or my wife telling me or the vice versa, invariably we keep using social media. So we thought we shall use social media for better purpose.
keeping that in mind, we shall just try to see how best we can make use of academic influence using social media. And the first biggest question from an academic point of view, why we need to use social media? These are some of the points which I listed. Depending on my experiences, whatever I found using our academic influence using Instagram or LinkedIn services. When we just take social media, I don't think there is any other platform which can portray an educational institute or whatever we need to convey better than social media, like enhanced communication and engagement. If you want to say something in press, we know very well, you just go to newspaper, you give an ad, that particular moment it is there, and you end up paying heavy money. But when we use the same thing with that of the social media, it's not that expensive, and the reach whatever social media like LinkedIn or Instagram has is global. It reaches each and everyone. And personalization also. Like whenever we want to target a particular kind of audience, you can particularly target only those audience and you can push in whatever information you need to convey as a university point of view. Uh, Both of the speakers were highlighting the importance of alumni. Alumni, according to me, for any university is like what sanctum sanctorum is for temple. Like it's your alumni who portray what your university is, what your academic institute is. And when I started working with Mr. Jayant, I had a lot of confusion when I just took this assignment, and even in fact, I asked him a couple of times whether I did the right choice because I'm not someone who come from uh, computer background. He said, "No worries." And also, I would like to take this platform to thank him for hand holding. And sometime now he says that maybe probably you know little more jugards than what I'm not knowing because once you start using it, right, you learn a lot of things. And when we were scouting on the various alumni, whatever we have, bases as such, we were exaggerated that not even documented anywhere. President of Morgan Stanley in US is alumni of JSSJC, who did his engineering in 1986 from electronics department. Even electronics department do not know that he is in that bigger position. So this is you can imagine if you can bring him for some occasion in university, what an impact individuals like them can create. Other than that, using social media, we can use a lot of things, including portraying our academic and research promotion. I would just like to quote one instance here. When we talk about research promotion, right? I have been using LinkedIn from long time, from last 10 plus years. I've been using LinkedIn, but I've been using it extensively from the time I've been given an assignment on it. I work on a fungi called Phomopsis. I did my initial research and all those things on Phomopsis azadirachta. On LinkedIn, I had just put some of my papers, some of my publications, and I had a research scholar who was working on it too. And for my surprise, I got a message from someone from US, from USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. She's the chairman of pathology, Amy Roseman. Amy Roseman for plant pathology is like what Virat Kohli is for cricket. And I just got a message from her telling that can we just go ahead with collaborative work as we were also working on the forte. So this is the impact. If I had not posted something on what I am working on Daporte, no one would have got to know that maybe probably we are working on such a problem in our institute. Just a simple example. So these are some of the ways in which we can use social media very effectively. Now coming back to the actual part, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, many of us feel, including myself, I believe that we use Instagram, we use Facebook, and one more of it is LinkedIn. But LinkedIn for a professional is entirely different from whatever other social platforms whatever we use. Using LinkedIn, mainly the professional subscription, whatever we have, we target three verticals. That is how better we can brand our university, how we can improve our alumni engagements, how we can emphasize it on our recruitment. I will not detail too many things in my presentation, I'll show some live demonstrations and some data and statistics, whatever we have generated together, which will just highlight on how best we can make use of it. So the professional subscription, whatever we have in LinkedIn, has three different pages. I would just like to brief upon it now so that we can just see the live demonstration later. One is what we call as live page. Other one, there is some spelling mistake here. So it's talent insight. And the third one is recruiter. Talent insight and recruiter are something which works complementary to each other. Talent insight is something like what we see as a broader picture, and whatever data statistics we generate using talent insight, we just get a broader purview, and the inner details we can extract using the other tool, which is recruiter. Let me just start with the live page. How many of you are not connected, are not having a subscription in LinkedIn? Not having. You're not having? Okay. Maybe probably today should be the last day that they say that they don't have a. You have a LinkedIn profile. Right? That's what. Oh, I'm not talking about paid subscription. LinkedIn normal. Everyone have it? Okay, fine. You have it on your mobile? Because one of my speaker had particularly told me that we need to have some activity also. Can you just open up your profile and look for JSS Science and Technology University, please? How many of you are opening it for the first time? JSS STU on your LinkedIn. I'm sure everyone would have seen some or other part of time. You opened it? Can you search for a tab where it says live there? Can you just look at the details, whatever are there in the live page? Can you see? Very good. There are some information which just portrays what our university is, how many departments we have. The live page, you should particularly go for the live page. You can raise your hand. How many are there in the sync? Very good. Others are still searching. Yeah, anyhow, otherwise also I'm an in-house person. I can come down to each and every department. We can sit together and we can work on it. So life page is something which portrays, which paints a canvas of what our university is. So we can just tell about our principles. We can just tell about our infrastructure. We can tell about our strengths. We can just collect some information from alumni, what they feel about our university. Similar way, even faculties can paint what can express what they feel about the university. Many of you may be feeling that this is something which is very similar to the web page, whatever university does. But this is entirely different. The life page, whatever you're seeing, is seen by the rest of the world. I think the life page, whatever we have, is a global life page. The whole world sees whatever has been portrayed on the life page. And this is not present in a dynamic stage. This is not in a static state. This is dynamic. We can just keep changing every new activity, whatever we do perform. We can just put it on the live page so that the rest of the world is seeing. Even it runs through the traffic drivers so that everyone gets to know, and we can target each and individual specifically whom we want them to highlight it. So some of the benefits what we have with this live page is university with a live page, especially like JSSSTU having a global live page, will have enhanced visibility and reputation. Everyone will get to know what we are, what our intentions are, what actually are going on, what research we are specialized in, and whatever we do upload, the whole world will be seeing it. And as many were telling, there was a time when we have to get admitted. The word of mouth used to be there. We used to have a look at newspapers. Now things have changed. Most of the students, before taking admission, want to have a feel of what university is, what they are doing, what their faculty profiles are, where the research is heading towards, and the placement. Everything can be portrayed here so that they have better understanding before joining. Increased alumni engagements. Here, sometimes what happens, we do have our alumni who are linked. We have 8,000 plus, which can grow to 1 lakh also in coming days. And through live page, this would be serving as a window for each and every alumni who is connected, who are getting to know what's happening in their university, which can lead to a stronger community building and an university with an attractive life page will always have a competitive edge over any other universities. And whenever we do make a life page, we need to also ensure that we need to have consistent branding. That is, as our first speaker, Dr. Dharma Prasad said, whatever our vision and mission are, whatever we post should match with it. It's not that we post something which is not in line with whatever we are portraying. We should just try to provide engaging content. We should update regularly whatever activities which are happening. We should have options for interactive features. We should just try to paint alumni stories, because sometimes what happens, along with the departmental webpage, whatever has been told, when we say we are good matters. When we say we are good through some agencies, that matters also. But alumni who have passed course from the same institute, when they tell a story, it is altogether a different impact, whatever we have. Maybe probably the other day I was discussing with Dr. Dharma Prasad sir. I was telling that we do have a lot of alumni who are doing exceedingly good in various areas. Maybe probably in our webpage, we can make sure that two short videos we can just make from each and every alumni, we portray on it. We just show it on our webpage so that whenever any student aspires to join that particular course, when things are coming from the alumni, the impact whatever we have will be entirely different. Similarly, we do have a lot of faculties who are doing exceedingly good in various aspects, like maybe probably they're getting a lot of patents, they're publishing a lot of papers, and all this can be showcased on our webpage. And here, we also discussed on how structurally we can make use of it. Today, when we just had a workshop, this workshop was principally, basically depending on invitation. Can someone tell me what was the crux behind that? What was the need that only few were invited? In fact, there were few students who wanted to come. We said that you can attend it, but it's restricted to few participants. Can someone try to tell me what is the idea behind making a social media manager for this workshop, social media ambassador for this workshop? Yes, structure is one thing, and as exactly as Madam said, take it further. This effort is not something which should stop only today, and this should only go ahead. This should only amplify further. So what we thought was every department, as Sir was telling, will have at least one or two activities every month. But it's not that everything whatever happens, we just portray it on our web page. It's something like we have two social media ambassadors who will just generate the content, because we do have a lot of students who are good at creating innovative content with attractive pictures or videos, which will route through a social media manager, because a social media manager will decide that what content should go in, what picture should come in, when we should post it, and all other details. And all of this will go only with the consent of head of the department. So this way, we can maybe probably we can structure a template. So in the same template format, all the information will be going on. All the information, whatever has been portrayed in every individual departments, will further be linked to JSS STU. So everything comes on the department will portray on university. So it's not that we are not doing activity. If you just take few months of JSS STU, you can just see how lively our university was. For example, we did environmental day, we did open day, we did mesmerize, and lot every department had some or other activity. Few of it we saw on newspaper, most of it we saw on social platform, right? Because nowadays, including the recent of information, what is the recent of news, whatever we are hearing? Yeah, and whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, whatever news we are hearing, where we are getting maximum information, You open Facebook, the second troll is some information about some incident, whatever has happened. So this is the impact, whether we like it, we don't like it. This is the impact what social media has. And the best way to penetrate any target audience is through social media. And the two other tools, whatever we have, is one is Talent Insight. Talent Insight, I'll maybe probably rather than explaining, I'll just show the demo so that you can understand things better. This tool is particularly beneficial for universities in various ways, which can enhance recruitment, optimize programs, and maintain a competitive edge. Some of the key advantages of Talent Insight include we can enhance recruitment strategies by target recruitment. For example, there are a lot of faculty and students who are from circuit branches. We just want to know how many jobs which are open for a senior software engineer in Google. Is there any way we can find out? Will Google website show all the details of whatever recruitments are open? Through LinkedIn, I will show some live demonstration. Every job opportunity which is there throughout globe can be seen using this particular tool. This is the power of LinkedIn Talent Insight and recruitment, using which we can just streamline a lot of things. Competitor analysis. For example, sometime we hear that RV college is getting some recruitment which are with much higher packages than whatever we are getting. We just want to know what RV college is doing, which we are not doing. Like what subjects they do have, which companies are coming to RV college. If you want me to take out the Janam Kundli of RV college, I can take out Janam Kundli of RV college. If you want me to take out the Janam Kundli of Biocon for someone who is coming from life science background, I am take out the Janam Kundli of Biocon. I can just tell you where all they have units, who all are employed there, who are the presidents, who are the recruiters who are there, who are the talent inside individuals who are there, who are their HRs who are there. All those details can be just taken out. Not just we can have a look at their details. I can just extract all those details in CSV format, and I can just pass it on to you so that you can establish link with them and you can just start communicating with them. This is the power what Talent Insight has. It also helps in program development and optimization, curriculum alignment, alumni success tracking. I'll just give a simple example here. Few days back, we had an industry institute interaction with Department of Biotechnology. We had called Dr. Dharma Prasad as industry experts. When he had a look at our syllabi, he said that there are few things which no more works. You need to take out those subjects and you need to add on few more things which industry needs. So we will not be exactly knowing what exactly industry needs. So all this information, what industry is recruiting, what talent, what skill they want in order to improve recruitment, all those details can be extracted using this particular tool. Uh, you will clearly understand it when I show the demo. Talent insight is something which gives you overall picture. For example, I can give a search like alumni who are from JSS Science and Technology University, Sri Jayachamara College of Engineering, who are in US. It gives the overall view of the geographical location. It will give details of how many employees are there, where they studied, what their skills are. Once we identify a skill, if you want to extract individual data, then I use the second tool, that is Recruiter. Through Recruiter, I can just skim out all their data. I can in fact take out their short biodata also in PDF format, and we can make use of it. And by leveraging this, we can generate a lot of data like comprehensive alumni database. So was initially telling during his presidential remark, we have captured around 15,000 alumni of JSS SJC. We pinpoint have exact data of all the alumni who are from SJC and JSS STU who are in US separately, who are in UK separately, who are in Germany separately. Whenever we want to contact, we have the URL contact of each and every one of them, which is made possible only because of the tool, whatever we have. And the other advantage maybe normally there is some sort of, I shouldn't say negatives, some sort of aversion like people when they just check in LinkedIn, right? Whenever we generate data on CSV format, only way you can contact them is through LinkedIn. People are little not satisfied with it because we are conventionally used to, like, we need their phone numbers, we need their email ID. No one would be ready to share their personal details. And this is the best way to contact. I can just narrate this with a simple example. A few days back, one of my classmates, we met after 25 years. His name is Bishuru. He had come all the way from US. After 25 years, we met. We studied together in University of Mysore, Department of Microbiology. When we went there to Department of Microbiology, they absolutely had no data about him. Only data which was entered is Vishwarup Das Gupta came at 1999, went back to Dhaka 2000. No other data was there. And this is normally the database, whatever we have, of all the alumni database, whatever we are maintaining now, which is not through a professional platform like LinkedIn. Normally, how we take the alumni data? Final year, when they are leaving, we call them, we tell them to give their name, phone number, email ID. Take it from me, 90% of the time, those phone number doesn't exist, those email IDs doesn't exist. So how you contact them? No way you can contact them. Only when they pay a surprise visit, by chance, that's the only time you connect them. What is the advantage you have when you connect with a social platform like LinkedIn? When I go back to the same Vishwarup Das Gupta story, after going back to Dhaka, he worked in few pharmaceutical companies. There is one pharmaceutical company called Serpenta. He is heading that pharmaceutical company now. He is in such a big position. If you follow the profile through LinkedIn, you will just get to know each and every step where all you work. So this is the way you can keep contact with each and every alumni of yours, and even you can just see how they are progressing and where present exactly they are working. And also one more thing, whenever we have an alumni database, right, we use a lot of other softwares to generate alumni database. We just document it also. When we send an invite for something, right, can someone tell me what are the chances of reply or connection back you get? Someone from alumni, someone who's handling alumni can reply me. If it's 10%, it's big. You have any idea what's the statistics I have through LinkedIn when we send an invite through message? 60 to 70%. 60 to 70% of them reply back. And once you have a connect, it's lifelong connect. As they grow, even you just to go. So using all this data, we can use this for a lot of things, not just documentation of alumni. Sometimes it can happen some of your alumni are placed in some decision making positions in a lot of companies. They will always have some soft corner towards the university where they studied with. You can always encash that. And once you send an invite to them, once you connect to them, you can call them for some programs. When you, not as a favor, they will obviously feel like they have to contribute something back to the alma mater, whatever they study. So these are some of the advantages, whatever we do have. I don't want to take too much time on my presentation. So I'll just try to show some demo on how LinkedIn Talent Insight and LinkedIn Recruiter works. With that, we can find out. I've just kept all things open. So initially, I'll just start with, can someone give me some query like what data you want? See, a simple example. Any particular institutes other than JSSTU, because I've done too many for JSSTU searches. Yes, I'm giving that only. See, JSS Academy of Higher Education Research, the talent pool report will give details like how many professionals who have passed through. Because here you are seeing only this number because Again, as Sir rightly indicated, when you give the yeah, only India, only India, only in India we have 6,000. I'm very sure there will be many more. Like before JSS AHER, someone would have given us JSS Medical College, JSS Medical University. If we keep on adding keywords, the number keeps increasing. So this will give an overview of all the data. Like I can show one example here. See, this is the overall alumni report of JSS AHER. This will give details on what are the top locations for their talent, the ones who have passed out, where they are present, what companies are employing this talent, most common titles they are working with, and all this data you can get here. I will just run through, we'll just have a flavor of it so that I can sit with each and every individual department and institute and we'll work together. So who are producing the talent, analytical skills, and all this data can be generated. So this is what talent does. And one more thing I said, sometime you want to know about individual company from recruitment perspective. I would like to acknowledge on this platform that among the huge amount of data, whatever we are generating, the best use have been made by, are there any representatives from JSS AT Bangalore? I've told them you're not asking any more data till next month because all my data usage they are taking, they're making the best use. I'm happy with it. So in their case, I'll just try to narrate a small way how structured way we are working. They have a team who scout on this, and they had identified around 250 companies where they want to target. For all 250 companies, they have fragmented into individual batches. They send 25 companies at a batch, which includes two top companies, four mediocre companies, and 20 smaller companies. What I am doing is those two companies, I'm giving the complete details of. I kept it as batch one and batch two. One second. Yeah. So they wanted to know the details of this is the Janam Kundli, what I said. Janam Kundli of Nokia. So company report which tells about all the things like how is the workforce distributed, trend over time, hires and departures, which company Nokia is winning and losing talent. So this data can be made use in a lot of ways. One, we can just to know what particular skills Nokia is looking for. Second, we can look for where they have their major industries, where they are expecting more talent so that they can recruit them. So details like this, every individual details can be sought from the company. And some reports like this for each and every company I can generate and I can give it to you. And normally these are the list of companies whatever they gave in batch one. So they give you color codes, the major companies, mediocre companies, and maybe probably we can use the same model for each and every institute so that we have standardized it with a lot of. Sir, I would like to add on why we did this is when we search using Recruiter, the number of HRs are so many that we have to fragmentalize so that we can just get data which we can use. So this is the strategy what we have used. And I've given these are some of the alumni in Nokia who are in top positions in that particular company. So this is the CSV format with their URL. All they have to do is they have to send a message with an invite to that individual. When an invite goes from an alumni officer to the student, obviously student will accept it. Then it gets very easy to call them to come for an campus interview or for using it for placement. And these are the data of See, how many are there? 330. So 330 individuals of all those 25 companies who are involved in recruitment, talent inside, across India, they have the URL data of each and every one of them. And I'm very sure they said that they've already started connecting him. All we need is one good connect. They have one good connect, maybe probably they can just invite the company for either off campus or on campus placement. This is how we can leverage this particular software in using it. And I think I'll just wind up with one more simple example. We can just take out individual profiles. These are individual profiles of. So here I had a separate query like Jesus wanted to have all top management people who are in Fortune 500 companies. So what we did is we just searched for all Fortune 500 companies. We just I took assistance of him just to look at the premium designations which those companies have, like vice presidents, presidents, CEOs, and we just churned out only those data, prepared a separate CSV, and provided it. Normally, what happens here, the data, whatever we generate, the data can be generated from a faculty point of view, data can be generated from a student point of view. Normally, what happens if you want to contact the CEO of Fortune 500 company, normally, if I send a message, they might not accept. Someone in top position like our pro chancellor send a message, 100% they will accept it. So here what we have done is we have identified only those individuals who are in top positions, and a separate CSV has been sent to them so that they have invited them. We have generated a separate CSV for placement officers where only recruitment, talent inside, and HR concern have been sent. We have sent recently. We have started working with Department of Biotechnology. We were struggling to have alumni connect because we had registered all the alumni details, but most of the phone numbers and most of the email IDs were not working or they were not replying back. We could extract around 500. We are a small department, you know it very well. We have maximum of around 30 students each year. Having 30 students each year, we could extract around 500 contacts of all our alumni. Now we exactly know how where those 500 are working in individual institutes or whatever career pathways they are working. So these are, I could not explain a lot of things because this LinkedIn can do a lot of things. These are some of the things which can be done and which can be used. And I would like to thank all of you for your patience and also take this opportunity to thank. I knew nothing initially when I started. Uh, but now also I'm started getting that maybe probably we can use a lot of other jugards also making use of it. And I would personally want to sit because we have our colleagues from JSS AHER. Thank you, sir, for sparing your time. I would like to sit separately with JSS AHER, JSS ATE. We have already had enough meetings. I'll provide you all the data, whatever you need. And a lot of heads of the departments are there from JSS Science and Technology University. I want to sit with each and every head of the department and work both on alumni engagement and also on recruitment point of view. Because sometimes what happens, some of the departments what we have, circuit branches placement is not an issue. Company comes, they pick people, but we do face some problem with non-circuit branches. Maybe this can be a magic wand for all those departments. We will sit separately and we will work on it. I think with this few little words and this opportunity, I thank one and all for your patience. Thank you. Yeah, we will. I will only take the honor. So now I request both our speakers to come on stage for 2 minutes. Yeah. I request Anil Srinath sir to come on stage to felicitate them. Sir, please you also join. Civil sir, please. So thank you very much, sir. It was really fantastic experience. Right. I think you might have to wait for 2 minutes. A small feedback form is coming so that you can fill it. In the meantime, if you permit, sir, I would like to. Yeah.
Dr. Nagendra Prasad approached me. I told him a simple thing. See, this is going to work. All our efforts of half a day is going to work only if we are interconnected. I'll read out the names who has sent me the connection. The rest of you, you have to do something. Guru Darshan, Dr. Shiba Pakkan, Ajay MR, Mohammad Atif Ali, Ashita Kumar, Aishwarya, Litin Muttana, Anand Mahadev Rao, Sagar R, Surya Swami, Akshay HK, Dr. Prasanna Deshpande, Sharath HP, S. Jain, Ashira Azaf, Dr. Arvind BS, Sinchana J, Swetashri M, Dr. Santosh BS, Maurya Janardhan, Mohammad Risham, Amrut B. Arun, Rupa Mahesh, Gagandeep GS. I've got 24 requests. A big round of applause to all these people. Of course, many of you are connected with me earlier, so I've added them in. Yeah, it is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn names. Oh, it's only on LinkedIn. Sorry. See, the idea is very simple. I'll keep telling this to wherever I go. I can stand here and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours about what to do unless you take the first step, right? As an audience, if you take that first step is the most difficult step for a human being. We have to take that first step. All of these people whom I read the names, you have taken the first step to connect. It's not about following or anything. It's about connecting. Like Jayant said, if you are connected to me, there are 150 CEOs that you can connect because they are all my connection. Among 3,600 connections I have, it becomes your first connection, second connection, right? So your ability to reach out goes up. And then whenever you post, when I like, all my people who are following me will come and know about you. That is how we grow the network. So you've taken the first step. Thank you so much. Whoever has not taken the first step, please take a first step. Not only me, connect with Jayant, connect with Nagendra, connect with all the HODs, connect with everybody who is sitting here. Let us make an interconnected network of web, and this should be the first step for JSSSTU. Thank you so much. I just wanted to add.
Here we come to the end of the session. We wholeheartedly thank each and every speaker and participant for spending your valuable and precious time with us today for making this workshop a success event. Thank you all. All participants are requested to fill the feedback form which will be given in a few minutes. Please leave after filling the feedback. Thank you all.
You will get your feedback in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, can someone volunteer come and share your experiences? Because only when we just take your experiences, we just get to know how we can improve further or whether we need to do more of this sort.
I thank JSS Mahavidyapita, our university, Suresh sir, Dean sir, and all the experts. As a layman in this social media platform, I do learn a bit about so many things. I do a lot of things, and with that pace, me to reap benefit of that platform, it may take many years. And a focused program like this would really matter to us and impact what we are doing. Because as a faculty, we are engaged in at least some 30 other activities day in and day out. And to explore each of these things individually, it's really not possible, I feel. So a focused program like this really impacts a lot. And I request the circuit branch teachers, deans, and all to take some steps like that for our COPO mapping and all those things. That makes our work really better, and we can do contribute a lot. And this has helped me a lot. Thanks a lot.
Good afternoon, all of you. This is Dr. Santosh. I am heading Civil Engineering Department at JSCT Bangalore. I just share our journey, how it happened with the JSCT Bangalore. Uh, I'm looking after the social media at JSCT Bangalore, and it was, I think, 2 years back we took that charge for JSCT Bangalore. Earlier, the pages there was existence of the pages, but there was, as Sir shared, how the page should be. We should have the consistency and we should have that regular programs should be shared. Even though the programs used to happen in the institution, the social media team was not active. That means that consistency was not there. In the beginning, there was about 450 followers for the LinkedIn, if I say that. And now, after just in a span of 2 years, we are about 12,000 followers for JSSAT Bangalore around. And we are getting a very good feedback that alumni now we are able to reach the alumni throughout the globe. And as Sir itself, and we took the help of Nagendra Prasad Sir in connecting the people throughout the globe, even though there are about 5 to 10% we are connected earlier, but after the data which was shared by Sir, and now we are able to connect most about 60 to 70% we have covered, Sir, all over the world. And it has made a lot of difference. And regarding the programs also, we used to ask the department to share the information, to share it in the social media. Now that effort is not there because they are seeing how consistently we are posting it in the social media and how it is reaching the people. So now data itself come to us for sharing it in the social media. Even though if it is half day, it is delayed. They used to message us and they used to ask us why it is not shared. That is how it has improved in the social media. And I thank the JS Mahavidya Pita for that opportunity and also for their guidance in making this successful. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Dharma Prasad and Mr. Jain, Nagendra Prasad, and all the faculty from various departments of JSS Science and Technology University. It's a pleasure to connect with all of you. First of all, connecting was what the theme was. And as he rightfully said, I can be present in only one location when I connect. And I think we have discovered what Krishna used to do in that other yuga, being present multiple places at the same time. And when I come here to give the feedback, I have taken the feedback from a few of my teams, and I'm happy to note that the names read out by Sir had many of my team members from JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research. So that's good going, compliments. And I feel now there was a time when we used to tell I am from JSS Science and Technology University, I am from JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, sister concern. Now it's just one family, JSS. So connecting many people in JSS means having so many institutions, so many domains of education. We connect literally to every aspect of functioning in the world. So thank you so much, the team which has come here and enlightened all of us regarding how we can connect and grow together. Thank you so much.
Chief guests are telling that some students should certainly come and share your.
So, good afternoon, one and all. I congratulate Dr. Nagan Prasad and team and Dr. Dharma sir also for this wonderful stunning workshop, after day workshop. So, as you are all aware now, LinkedIn is very important. Also, whatever achievements you do through your research, you should also update your profiles in Google Scholar, ResearchGate, IRNS. ORICD ID. So please focus all your achievements, small or big, and please link to LinkedIn. So as you are all aware with this half a day workshop, how to create your idea and how to tag yourself. So it is a good initiative by Dr. Nagen Prasad and team, and it will continue. And we all have a good alumni team in future. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all.